Hey, welcome back to Nerd Crave. So I'm wondering, guys, what do you use to catalog your collections? I've used a variety of different apps over the years. I think I started out with CLZ actually on my comic book collection. That's collectors.com, or the CLZ app or suite of apps. I started out with that. I actually got so far into it that I got the advanced desktop software for that, which is somewhere around $75 or $80, I believe. And it's an incredibly powerful program for what it is, especially for comic books. I think they started with comic books and kind of fleshed it out a little bit more than some of the other apps in their suite. Moving to video games, CLZ Games, I went to that when I really started collecting games heavily, and it's a pretty good app. It really works well. It doesn't crash. It has some really awesome features like a dedicated cloud server that you back everything up to, and then you can actually browse your cloud server from just about any device, including an Android TV box or a tablet or a phone, any obviously computer, Windows or Mac. It's very easy to get to. You can actually share it with somebody on Facebook or email somebody a link for them to log in and look at your collection remotely, which really helps with buying, selling, and trading of the collections and that sort of thing. But about a year ago or so, I discovered a new app called Gameye. I guess it's been around a little longer than that, but I immediately fell in love with Gameye. Gameye is something really special because it does something in the video game industry that all the other gaming apps, whether you're using something on the web like price charting or something like that, Gameye covers everything in the hobby. There is a section in that app for everything from toys to life. That's things like amiibos and Skylanders. You can catalog your consoles. You can catalog your peripherals like controllers and joysticks and steering wheels and all that sort of thing. It's very comprehensive. It has built-in like a price scrubber. It goes out onto the internet and looks for current prices for your games. Now, in my experience, the prices are not entirely accurate. In some cases, they're not even close. But it is enough to give you a frame of reference for what your entire collection is worth, and enough to give you a starting point in negotiations. You would definitely, if you're going to sell a game, you would definitely want to refer to a couple of other sources before going with the prices that are in the app. I generally find that they're a little bit on the conservative side. Something that's worth maybe, it's worth $50 is showing up at maybe $35 in the app or something like that. I know that there has been some issues. Initially, when I first got the app, they only had American prices. I am in Canada, so obviously there's a difference between Canadian currency and American currency, and for a while I had thought that the price variations that I was seeing were due to the difference in currencies, but then they actually introduced a Canadian currency option for me, and it really didn't fix things. I mean, it made it a little bit more in line with what I would have expected. The really cool thing about Gameye, as I say, that CLZ just does not have, is the ability to catalog the other portions of your collection and come up with an overall report of value. Gameye gives you not only the price of every game in your collection, but it adds it all up so that you can see what the value of your GameCube collection or your 3DS collection or your PS2 collection. You can refine it in a couple of different ways, so you can look at the value of all of your consoles or all of your amiibos or just your PS2 games, or you can get an amassed price of everything. The other really cool thing, and CLZ kind of has this, but it's not laid out the same, is that tied into searching for a game, the search functions in Gameye, there's actually what they call an encyclopedia, which is where you can go and browse through a huge database right there on your phone of every console, every game that's in the system, every peripheral, every amiibo. You can browse through that app and say, oh, hey, I'd love to own that, or I already own that, or whatever, and actually put it in your wish list, which is fantastic, because then when you're out game hunting, you can refer to the wish list in your pocket on your phone and immediately know, I have this one, but I'm looking for this one. It really helps you to avoid buying duplicates of things. I found it very useful more than once. I never go into a game store or a pawn shop without my phone in my pocket now, because I'm constantly referring to one of the two apps. I have them both installed on my phone, but really since I've discovered Gameye, I haven't kept CLZ up to date. Gameye is, I have to say, even though Gameye is free and CLZ is a paid app, I really have to say that Gameye is the better platform overall. Don't get me wrong, I really love CLZ, and it served me well for a long time. But the great thing about CLZ that Gameye does not have is that CLZ has a full suite of apps encompassing a bunch of different collectibles. And because of that cloud server they have, you have an account in the cloud server, and it meshes all the information from all your different apps. So as you can see in the footage here, I have CLZ Books, CLZ Games, CLZ Comics. You can get CLZ Music. I think there's a couple of other apps as well. And the cloud server meshes all of that stuff together into one cohesive collection, so you can easily go onto the server, have a look at everything you own from a whole variety of different... So it's not just a game collecting app. It is a suite of apps that work together in harmony. And that's where CLZ is strong and Gameye is weak. But Gameye, I think, in terms of just a gamer, if you're just a game collector, I think Gameye is the better platform. One last thing I should mention, guys. CLZ and Gameye both have barcode scanners. In the case of Gameye, I have found that it doesn't work 100% of the time. Neither does CLZ. Neither one of them work perfectly. However, if you have a lot of import games, or if you're from another country or another region outside of the US, and you're really dependent on that barcode scanner, you don't want to type in your games manually, you may want to choose CLZ, as they seem to have a better barcode database than Gameye, although I have spoken to the developer of Gameye, and I know that he is working on that. But as of the printing of this video, I have still continued to have some problems with being up in Canada, some Canadian variant UPC codes, which just scan as no information. There does seem to be a mechanic where you can upload your barcodes into the database, but I haven't really figured out how to do that yet. Just something to keep in mind if you're really counting on a barcode scanner. I would say that there's a minor edge to CLZ at the moment, although I have a lot of faith in the developer of Gameye that he's going to get that up to snuff pretty quickly. I know there's a bunch of other platforms out there. There's some Apple-specific platforms, I know a lot of people are still doing it old school, doing it with Excel spreadsheets and that sort of thing to keep track of what they own. Tell me in the comments, please, if you would, what are you using to catalog your game collection? And have you heard of Gameye? Have you heard of CLZ? Have you used them? What do you think of them? Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Please leave a comment. If you would, leave a like on this video. It really helps me out. And subscribe if you haven't already, because I will be putting out at least 2 videos a week. Thanks, guys. Stay classy.